We are so excited that our students last year and this year get to do a university microcredential that will count towards credit points for their first year of university. And they'll have advanced standing at the University of Technology in Sydney. This program is just so important for our students. We are the first school in the country that pioneers of this approach for our students to actually experience university at a university level in just year 10. And that these students, what I call the Peter Pan Wendy years, have finally got a purpose and a commitment beyond school, beyond the school gates.
The UTS program was discussing ways that our school could reach net zero by 2035, and one of the ideas our group came up with was using tiles called PaveGen tiles, which converted steps into electricity that we could feed back into the school.
This PaveGen idea was the out-of-the-box solution. We were told to start with an in-the-box solution, which would have been sensored lights, and which when you walk into the room, they turn on and off. But when we were told to make an out-of-the-box solution, it was very hard just to come up with anything, because we had to somehow be creative and also make it practical at the same time.
Our idea is on algae panels.
We became inspired by UTS. They were using algae to reduce carbon emissions in cafes around the city. So we decided to use that as panels for the school to reduce electricity.
I just thought the idea was extremely innovative, and it seemed different than all the other ideas that I heard that people were putting up. So I decided to just go with it because that was one of the best ideas I had at the time.
Algae is a plant that intakes a lot of carbon dioxide and sunlight in order for photosynthesis to happen. And during photosynthesis, electrons are produced. We can transfer that into electricity while intaking carbon emissions and reducing the carbon emissions in the school.
So our idea was a sun-smart skylight where we would use the natural light which would enter the classrooms through the skylight. However, we came up with the problem that the heat would just enter the skylight and then it would heat up the classrooms and we'd have to use the AC anyway. So we added shutters onto our skylight which would open and close depending on the amount of sunlight that was entering the classroom.
And our group's idea was to help the school reduce the paper usage.
So our solution is not actually about putting a lot of cost, it's actually more of a behaviour change. We want to change people's attitudes and even the teachers' attitudes of what are we printing, is it really necessary? How can we actually limit the amount of carbon that's getting released from paper? Does it really need to be printed?
I would like to think that our partnership with UTS here is a continuation of work that we've done to deepen the learning of our students across the whole school. Apart from the subject-based learning, we've also got quite a few interdisciplinary programs that we've developed over the years. And if we just look at year 9 and 10, for example, the students do an entrepreneur program in year 9 and they do a year 10 personal passion project in year 10. And each of those projects have got a sort of a gradual release of responsibility towards the students and things that they have to do, for example, pitching an idea and leading towards a showcase of their learning. So those are some of the elements that actually came into the UTS program as well, and the students had already experienced those things at school.
I think it was really a great experience because we got to be in university as a teenager. Like all of the teachers that helped us, when we went there were always a couple of teachers there, and also just the UTS staff. There was a lot of really great professors and people that were willing to help us. Yeah, we had lots of lectures which encouraged like deeper thinking rather than just service level thinking. We called them like out of the box ideas, and those lectures were really helpful because we learned how to approach our ideas differently and make them more unique and beneficial to achieving the goal of sustainability.
The creative freedom and freedom to do whatever else I want while learning about any topic, and also in school like exploring different ideas that we wouldn't usually in a standard class.
And also present in front of our own school council who are taking it into consideration.
I think it sort of shows us like what we will go through, not exactly just subject and topic wise, but just how everything works and functions, and that it's not as scary as people would think it to be, and it's just if you accept how they're introducing things to you and accepting the fact that you need to ask questions or that you can ask questions, you don't need to be afraid of that.
We actually heard about the idea, it's like about sustainability. We were like, oh, is it actually going to be fun? But I think it was actually a really good opportunity that we went to, because we actually get to input something into our school, which I don't think a lot of other kids had that opportunity to do. And actually making that active change is something very powerful that we've been able to actually do.
UTS had the courage and were audacious enough to embrace the idea with us, and now this opportunity will be open to all children across the country. And we are just so proud that we initiated this with UTS, that they came with us, and that we are in fact making a difference in the lives of our children, preparing them for their days beyond school so that they can flourish in the future.